Ladies and gentlemen, can we please take our seats? Can we please take our seats? We're ready to start. Good afternoon. I hope everyone had a pleasant lunch. We are now ready for the closing plenary roundtable of the SDG 16 conference towards the SDG 16 thematic review at HLPF, and I would call on Assistant Secretary General Ms. Maria Francesca Spatolizano, who will be moderating the roundtable, to take the floor.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for being with us as you did this morning. This closing session is intended as a brief, formal wrap-up of the conference. The key highlights from the conference were already captured yesterday, as you know. And so today, first of all, we want to thank our various partners and the participants for their hard work, and give the floor to the organizers, co-organizers, and the host government for some brief remarks. But before that, I would like to call on the representative of the youth who participated so well in these 3 days. There is Ms. Antonina Risco-Porsescu sitting here, who will make her own remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dear Madam Chair, delegates, participants, fellow young people. I'm Antonina Risco-Porsescu. I am from Ukraine, and I am leader of a network of young and emerging evaluators, Eval Youth. Here I am participant of 16 by 16 initiative. This initiative is united 16 youth-led organizations and 16 young leaders all over the world. And during this conference, we were listening very inspiring leaders and also great speakers. And also we were speaking. You gave us the right to speak, and we are very grateful for this. Also, we met and really leaders of current board. Most memorable meeting was with Her Excellency Emanuele Del Re, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Italy, which were very warm and kind meeting for us. During this conference, we also met great people who trying the best for achieving SDGs 16. And we prepared a Rome Youth Call to Action, promoting and supporting youth-inclusive and youth-led SDG 16 for implementation, monitoring, and accountability. Why we actually come to call for action? Because we understand that declaration and all, let's say, most theoretical issues are good, but we need to go for actions, because this is crucial. We need actually to start acting towards achieving SDG 16, because without real actions, we cannot come to achieve our whole Agenda 2030, and in particular, SDG 16. SDG 16 represents a critical opportunity to advance youth empowerment by guaranteeing fundamental freedom, ensuring accountability, and opening up discussion-making process to their participation, because it is triple imperative: human rights, demographic, democratic. Young people need to be recognized and supported as SDG accelerators. The cost of inaction would be too high. We prepared this 6 pages call for action, and I really think that it is needed to read it very carefully for all participants and to see our key recommendations in 3 main areas: for peaceful, just, and inclusive society. And also we included 2 more: chapters for youth meaningful participation in SDG 16 monitoring, review, follow-up, and accountability, because we understand that accountability is crucial for achieving SDG 16, and also for creating equal partnership and financing, because as representative of youth organizations, we understand that partnership and also financing of youth initiatives also are crucial for our daily work. In the end, I want to thank all organizers and also especially UNDP youth who gathered on us here. And one again, thank you all delegates and participants to share with us this conference. And looking forward for next event where you invite for next event, you see, it's a sign that you always should because without youth, you cannot achieve actually Agenda 2030. No, not will be repetition. Okay.
Very good. Thank you so much. And I turn now to Ms. Irene Khan for the closing remark by IDLO.
Thank you very much. It has been a remarkable conference, and one in which I think we have all made the idea of a multi-stakeholder dialogue not just a form, but a real guiding principle. And this is, of course, extremely important, particularly important when addressing SDG 16, because it is, as we all agreed, a goal which will require the equally strong engagement of governments, of institutions like the judiciary, national human rights institutions and other institutions, of civil society, of young people, first and foremost. And we have seen the energy, the enthusiasm, the joy that they bring to our discourse. And the world is, of course, for the young. It is for the young that we're moving forward. So I think we have really, I hope we have all felt, as I have, this whole of society approach in our own deliberations. And it is crucial to the progress that if we are going to make progress on SDG 16, as you will recall, this is exactly what the President of the General Assembly also reminded us, the importance of whole of society approach. We are working in rough terrain. The journey is going to be difficult, but it's an extremely important journey because the goal is very precious. And one key point that we have all made in different ways is that progress towards SDG 16 is indispensable to sustain the progress in realizing the entirety of the 2030 agenda. And it is not only important to make progress, but it's important to accelerate the progress with new energy, new ideas, innovation, investment of efforts and funds, but most of all with impact on the lives of people. And of course, focusing first and foremost on those who are furthest behind. I hope this is the message of acceleration, of energy, of more attention, and of more focus, political will and commitment to SDG 16 that we will carry to the high-level political forum in July and then to the summit in September. I know that our message will be backed up by the outcome of the conference, by the contributions that all of you have made. It will help us to substantiate the message with concrete experiences and concrete recommendations rooted in national experiences and in the different contexts. We have all heard from the many participants the substantive experiences, very candid reflection on their experiences, the opportunities, the challenges, but most of all, the enthusiasm to take forward SDG 16. And that's, I hope we will also carry not just the substance of the message, but all the spirit in which that message has been made here. Let me now, of course, turn to a very important part of my statement, and that is to thank the very many people who made it possible for us to come here and to have this event. First of all, let me start with the Italian government, with the Vice Minister Emanuela Del Re, with Secretary General Elisabetta Belloni, and of course, Director General Giorgio Marapodi and his colleagues Luigi Di Chiara and Diego Chimino. It's always a little bit risky to name names. You know, it's a dangerous business naming names because you are perhaps leaving many people. But of course, these individuals have put in a lot of time, effort, and thought into this conference. I want to thank them also, not just for the financial support, but for the political and substantive support contribution that they are making to advancing SDG 16, to gathering all the various stakeholders to do it. So, and I'm sure that Italy's permanent mission in New York will help us all, will mobilize us all to take forward the conference messages through July to September. I would also like to thank the support staff at the ministry who have worked very closely with my colleagues and others, the prompt and responsive way in which they have reacted to our many and diverse demands. I would also like to thank, of course, UNDESA. I hope you have seen the dedication and enthusiasm with which my colleagues have worked with your colleagues, Maria Francesca, and I must say we have really grown to respect and admire the dedication, your own dedication and that of your people in putting together this complex event with so many different participants, with so many different issues, with so many different interests. Everyone is very enthusiastic and excited about their work. So managing all that so well and doing this while carrying out a lot of other things in New York. I would like to pay a special tribute to your colleagues in New York that despite their other pressures, that they worked so well with my colleagues here. As I said, naming names is a dangerous business, but nevertheless, I cannot not name Fred Soltau, Nayara Da Costa, Rina Jessica, and of course led by Shantanu Mukherjee. We owe them a huge debt of gratitude. Collaboration among the Italian government on one side, UNDESA on the other, and IDLO on another side, of course. It's like an orchestra. And we, of course, needed a conductor. And we had, I think, in DESA's representative here, Gerardo Cassini, a great conductor, brought us all together, and you have heard the crescendo here, and I hope you have appreciated the music, and you have also joined your voices to it. So I think we end in a refrain of thanks, last but not the least, to my own colleagues, who have worked very hard. Behind this little woman, you see a great big team. I can assure you of that. And of course, I will thank my own colleagues separately as well. So let me close the conference with the image with which I invoked at the beginning of the conference on Monday morning. That image, the icon of SDG 16, the dove that holds the gavel of justice. I hope that through our work, we will actually strengthen the grip of the claws of the dove of justice to hold on to the gavel, the dove of peace to hold on to the gavel of justice and to move forward very smoothly the progress on the 2030 agenda. So thank you everyone very much.
Thank you very much, Irene. We are now in these concluding stages of the conference. I'm really honored to be able to present a few closing remarks on behalf of DESA, and then Mr. De Chiara will conclude. Let me start by appreciating and congratulating all of you for your many insightful contributions to this meeting. As you know, our conference here has been organized in connection with the review of the SDG 16 at the high-level political forum in July this year, and I'm pleased that it has generated such a rich and diverse set of contributions. In particular, let me note the very concrete and thoughtful document from the civil society organizations who met last Sunday. We have kept extensive notes of the discussions that have taken place and will be compiling a record of this meeting along with our partners. And we also have requested the panelists and speakers to share their key takeaways in writing. Many of you have already done so, thank you. If you are yet to do so, can I please request that you send them as soon as possible and not later than Friday, please. If as a participant you would like to share your further takeaway, do so please, don't hesitate. And you can use the feedback form which was provided or email us also by Friday. The record of this conference, of course, will help, as we said before, the HLPF, and we will seek to this, but it's not all. It will also serve as we believe, a broader purpose, encouraging and inspiring greater impetus towards implementation beyond the conference. We have heard many good examples of how things are done, and we have insights also of the challenges, of course, that remain. And I'm confident that both the examples and the challenges will inspire new partnership and action. In terms of partnership, I renew my invite to submit concrete commitments to our platform, which DESA has already opened on the summit site, for acceleration pledges, commitments, whatever you want to call, in connection with the SDG summit in September. This will further recognize the incredible work you are doing and extend its reach. I also want to stress the need to continue in communicating and persuading. In this room, we all acknowledge how fundamental SDG 16 is, but we also need the efforts of everyone working on their SDGs, so to speak, to truly succeed in reaching this goal. Perhaps we have already made a start online, because I am told that on our opening day, the hashtag SDG16 was trending at number 3 in Rome, only behind European elections and the daily hashtag, the 27th of May. Finally, it is my great pleasure to thank our co-organizers. And I won't be as eloquent as Irene, but I really appreciate your words. IDLO for their great collaboration, and the government of Italy for their very generous support of this work. And I also would like to acknowledge with gratitude our many partners within the UN system, but also through many active networks, practitioners, academics, experts, all the others who have worked tirelessly with us, indeed, from our very first step of this journey that began last year. We have learned so much from all of you. A special word of thanks, of course, to the teams behind the scenes, my own organization, DESA, IDLO, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Italian government. Day and night they worked, I can tell you. And I congratulate all of you. And finally, you as the participants and our raison d'etre for this conference. I hope to see many of you at the HLPF and then at the summit. More importantly, I hope that when we meet again at forums like this one, we will already be in a position to mark the advances towards the SDG 16 that have been made since this day through our shared efforts. Thank you very much. And Minister De Chiara, please.
I think it's my turn now. Well, dear Francesca, dear Irene, distinguished participants, as the conclusions of our debate have already been very efficiently exposed yesterday and a moment ago as well, I will not be too long in the final remarks on the side of the host country. As said during the inauguration of this meeting, and without hinting at the complex interrelations between United Nations bodies. I hope Ambassador Patriota is not here today. Italy simply believes that there can be no peace, no justice, no stability without development, and vice versa. There can be no development without peace, justice, and stability. This is the reason why we were among the strongest supporters of SDG, the inclusion of SDG 16 in the 2030 agenda in the final phases of its elaboration. And this is also the reason why we were really happy to host this meeting. The transversal value of SDG 16 for the whole agenda has been confirmed by our debate. Irene just said it. SDG 16 is one of the most qualifying elements of the new agenda as it concerns its revolutionary vision. It is bringing a change of attitude, it is bringing a change of vision in elaborating policies that need to foster sustainable development. I want to give you a simple, concrete example. For instance, in this ministry, nowadays, programs of development cooperation are much more the result of a horizontal, thorough vision, transversal to specific competence of specific departments, rather than the result of, as it was in the past, a specialistic approach by development cooperation practitioners. We are humbly trying to stimulate also the UN development system and in general the multilateral system to adopt the same approach. And SDG 16 is being particularly effective in innovating and breaking sectoral silos in which the UN action is traditionally structured. Let me give you a couple of examples. The 16 by 16 initiative, which we developed in partnership with the UNDP, has set an effective precedent in facilitating the meaningful integration of young people in policy-making processes, moving beyond a tokenistic approach. We need to reinvigorate our partnership with young people who are consistently proving us how they are the real champions of SDG implementation at the grassroots level, starting particularly from the most challenging environments. Your stories, your commitment, your capacity have inspired us, and we are ready to continue to work with you. It is with It is with this spirit that Italy has championed the 16 by 16 initiative as a creative mechanism to engage and empower young local actors in global processes, as a part of a broader strategy that aims at implementing the 2030 agenda and the sustaining peace agenda through youth empowerment. My personal wish is to see more and more young people participating in formal meetings in New York. In this framework, Italy is also piloting a multi-country initiative with UNDESA, that is also the collaboration of UNDP, the Peacebuilding Support Office, the Special Envoy on Youth. Multi-country because it is applied in Liberia, in Kenya, and in Lebanon. The initiative is called Promoting Sustainable Peace Through National Youth Policies in the Framework of the 2030 Agenda. This project aims at strengthening the capacities of government officials, youth organizations, and civil society partners in the formulation and implementation of national policies and programs promoting sustaining peace, fostering the implementation of SDG 16 and the wider 2030 Agenda and Youth Peace and Security Agenda. We are supporting this vision also because we host two of the most relevant international organizations that are active in the field of SDG 16. And I want to name it. One is IDLO here in Rome, and the other one is UNICRI in Turin. Dear friends, having at personal level some experience of UN debates, some experience was shared a few years ago with Francesca. in a different capacity. The last 3 days, on a very personal note, have been particularly rewarding and refreshing for a number of reasons. First, for the very qualified and enlightening high-level active participation from some governments. Second, for the very broad range of multi-stakeholders participation that has not been confined to the margins of an intergovernmental meeting. And by the way, we definitely welcome the Rome Youth SDG 16 call to action, as well as the broader civil society Rome Declaration on SDG 16. I think that they represent very concrete inputs for the outcomes of this conference. And third, for the very collaborative tone of the debate. Believe me, it's a feature that not always applies to UN meetings in New York. In my humble opinion, all of the above qualifies our meeting as one of the best examples of what an expert meeting should be. And I think you all deserve an applause. Finally, I would also like to thank IDLO and UNDESA. Without them, this meeting simply would have not happened. Together with us, have prepared this conference, as well as all the other partners involved for having gathered such an influential group of experts here in Rome. Together with IDLO and DESA, we'll now reflect on the best way to report these meeting results to the attention of the HLPF in 1 month time in New York and to the SDG summit in September. Having said that, there is nothing more left to add, apart from hoping that you will have some spare time to enjoy the beauty of Rome, and wish you a very safe and happy return home. Arrivederci to the HLPF in New York. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our final distinguished panel, and thanks to all of you for indulging me over the last 3 days. Wish everyone all the best on the road to HLPF. You've been a lovely audience. Good afternoon. This conference is now closed. One final thing. If you have filled out the evaluation forms, please leave them at your places. We will collect them later.